Okay, we're coming on to do this card this morning, and I am going to be using the Joyous Noel DSP, okay, and the Feathers and Frost stamp set. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to put all my layers together. Now, you don't have to do this many layers. The reason I have done this is because instead of me using our thick Whisper White, I used just the regular Whisper White, but I wanted something more substantial. Because it is going to be a movement card, so I have chose to do the 3 layers to coordinate with my DSP. But if you have thick cardstock, then you only need to do your bottom layer and your DSP. Okay, so my layers, I will give you all the measurements, and this is what I'm going to do from now on. Rather than me write them down, I'm just going to give you them as they come. It might take a little bit longer, but hey. Okay, so inches. We are 4 6/8 by 5 1/2. Okay, 4 6/8 by 5 1/2. Then my Whisper White is 4 1/4 width by 5 1/2. So that'll just give me that 1/8 of an inch all the way round. Okay, and then my DSP measures 4 1/8 by 5 5/8. Okay, so I'm just going to lay these all up now, because I want these to be drying while I'm doing my other bits. So no shenanigans again for you today. Hubby's off work. Don't know whether I told you, but he's done his backing. So he was at the doctor's and they've put him on diazepam and muscle relaxants, and because he was being an idiot. Basically, his pride, you know, that man pride, yeah, got in the way and decided to do something really stupid by himself instead of asking for help. So Mel has no sympathy. So his doctor has put him off for 2 weeks and she wants to see him again. So I've got him home for 2 weeks and what do you call it, intruding on my happiness. No, he's not bad. Not a bad one. At least that's what he keeps telling me. He's not a bad one. It's a good job he doesn't really watch my videos, isn't it? Otherwise I think Mel would be in the doghouse. Right, so I'm going to let that dry there. Okay. Oh, you're going to need a band as well, and this is going to measure 1 2/8. I know, I'm sorry about all these 8s, but you do the size, by 4 1/4 in length. Okay, then my Whisper White piece is 4 2/8 by 7/8, and then my DSP is 4 3/4 inch by 4 inches. Okay, so I want this to be drying as well. So I'm just going to stick a load of tacky, Tombow. That stuff, when it gets on you, it gets everywhere. So it definitely doesn't take long to grab. Now this card, again, it's an old card that I'm revisiting, and I came across it when I was doing scrapbooks, so I'm just going to let that dry off as well. So then you're going to need, now I haven't put the green layer on these because it won't need it. Let me just put the lid on this. You're going to need 4 pieces of DSP that measure 2 inches by 2 inches, okay, and then 4 laden pieces what we're going to stamp on that measure 1 7/8 by 1 7/8, okay. Now I'm not gonna stamp on mine, well I am, but I'm gonna heat emboss my squares, okay. So we're going to do a bit of heat embossing, and we're using the Feathers and Frost. Now I love this stamp set, and the reason I love it is because of the 2 robins. Every year, the whole year round basically, I have robins in my garden, and the meaning behind seeing a robin means a lot to me because it makes me think of my mum. So yeah, that's why I love this set. Again, I've not used it, and that is awful because it is a lovely set, and you will notice that there is a stamp and it says hand stamped by, so you can use that on any project you make, and you'd already have the stamp hand stamped by. So I'm going to use a robin. Well, I'm going to use 2 robins, okay, and I'm going to use, if I can fit it in, I want to put the gift of your friendship means so much, especially at Christmas. I think that's lovely. So I'm going to try and see if I can, will I be able to fit that on? I will. Brilliant. And then I want I'm thinking I'm going to put the joy and peace in your heart. So we're going to try that. The joy is quite big. So I want 2 sentiments, but I also want me 2 robins. Joy. No, it's not going to fit. So we're going to have to rethink that one. What I might just do is a flower and some of the olive branches, I think. Yeah. I know. If you lot could see in my head. Mind you, I don't want you to see in my head. There's a lot goes on in there, and sometimes it's not pretty. You know, when you have ex-husband and your husband has an ex-wife, some of the things are just not pretty in there. But I shall keep them to myself. Let you all use your own imagination. Right, what am I doing? Face and mark. Now again, because I am stamping this face and mark on white cardstock, you are not going to see it. Well, it's highly unlikely that you'll see it. Let me just get that straight. And I am going to use the copper to tie in with the copper on the DSP. Don't want that smudging. I'm not going to show you because, as I say, you're not going to see it. I'm just sticking that on there. Get me little robin. Ink him up. The robin we have is actually sat on his lordship's foot. Well, on his boots actually. Cheeky little bugger, waiting for him to feed him some biscuits. I just love all animals, and that is not the reason I'm a vegetarian, but you know, I still cook meat and what have you for his lordship and the family and what have you, so it doesn't bother me. But I am also an animal lover, so I'm doing our robin the other way. Oops, just throw it on myself, you know. Now what I want to do is I'm going to do my 2 little olive branches. They're probably not, but that's what I'm going to call them, olive branches. Well, I think it'd help if I put them a bit closer together, wouldn't it? I'll just get them in, I think. And I'm just putting all these back on top of the stamp case so that I know and remember that I need to clean them. I hope you all had a lovely weekend. Let me just see if I can see where these leaves are stamped. So we're now on Tuesday. And Mel has to go and get her flu injection. Isn't that nice? So because I done my other injection yesterday, means my immune system is in my boots, which means when they give me the flu injection, I'll probably end up with the flu. So probably come next week or the end of this week, I will be dying with the flu. How to be me. My hands are still playing up, so making sure I've got it all covered, and just flick it all off now. Okay, there's my, now we'll get one of our robins. People always associate them and seeing them round about Christmas time, but honestly mine, I have 2 of them and they are in our garden constantly. Honest to God, they are there all the time. So they're either taking a liking to us or they just like the fat balls. Okay, so there's all my bits and bobs. So I'll move that out the way before I blow it everywhere. Now I am going to be using my heat gun, so if you have your earphones in or if you have me on loud, now would be your time to turn me down. Okay, just switching on now. And our embossing powder is that fine that it really doesn't take that long to melt at all. It really doesn't. And that's one thing I love about Stampin' Up products. Everything goes with everything. It all coordinates. So it saves me running around the shops and getting this certain paper or that certain paper and this stamp to go with it and another shop to get something else to go with that, and it's all just there and everything just coordinates. It just flows. That's why I love Stampin' Up so much. Okay, turning off now. We can resume back to normal volume. Right, so I've also cut me 4 layers out, and as I say, this coordinates with that lovely foiling. You can't even see, can you? See the foiling on the DSP? It might just pick it up. There you go. that is like a bronze copper, and then I've used our bronze or copper embossing powder. And as I say, our embossing powder is that fine, it really doesn't take that much heating up at all. There's some you can get that is really chunky. I have some myself in my stash, and by the time you've melted it, you've warped all your paper or your cardstock, so you can't use it. But this one's that fine, it really does, you know, melt quickly. And they have brought out new colours in their embossing powder as well, which are in the big catalogue, the annual catalogue, and you can find your Versamark and all that on there as well, plus Versafine refills, which is great. Okay, last one. The reason I heat embossed my layers is not just to coincide with the paper. On this type of card you don't want any embellishments that are going to stick up. Okay, everything's going to need to be flat. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my red line tape, because this is a movable part and it just needs something substantial to just keep it in place. Make sure you have everything the right way up, and just put a thin strip across the top, nowhere else, just across the top. Those of you who do scrapbooks will probably realise what card we're making now. For those of you who don't make scrapbooks, you'll have to wait and see. Okay, so I've got all my strips on there. Now you're going to need to put a strip on either side of that little band that we made. Okay. So there's that tape, and this band that we made, I don't know whether no, I didn't mention this band. Okay, this band measures 9 3/4 inches, okay, by 1 3/4, and I've just took my layer down by 1/8 of an inch all the way round, and you are going to score it at 1/2 inch, 1 inch, 1 1/2 inches and 2 inches, okay. And you're going to want to put tape, sorry, underneath this bottom one. That's what I meant to say. Okay, now we're going to bring all our pieces back into play, and what I'm going to do is this goes across there, so I'm going to take this off, and of course my elastic. Okay, and I'm just going to lay mine there. Okay, so just give that a little burnish. Now we're going to, this is how this is going to go, okay. So we're going to go like this. Well, it's actually going to go like that. In actual fact, I might move that score line down a touch. Let me see. Yeah, I'm going to move that up a touch. And it won't matter because I'm going to cut a piece off the end. So you just gauge yours by how far you put this bar in. Okay, and that is going to lay on there. Okay, so now what you're going to do is, I want that on the top, so I want him on the bottom, and what you're going to do is you're going to take your squares and right on the very edge of them score lines, see the score lines, we're going to attach our panel. So just like that. Okay, so it's right on the very edge of the score line. Then I want the flower one. So again, lining up with the previous one and putting it right on that score line. Then I want my other robin, and keeping it all straight. Okay, and then my greeting. Okay, so we've got that all straight, and I'm just going to hit that with my dust buddy because I went too far over with my tape. So just centralise your tape, try not to put it on the ends as I have done, but if you use talc or if you have one of them rubbers, you can get it off quite easily. And I purposely didn't cover that with DSP, but you can go ahead if you so wish. Now you're going to feed it back through there, okay. And you want to feed it back through up to your score line. Okay, and that's going to lay on the top. So we're now going to take, Mel stupidly put the tape on the wrong place. You're going to put the tape on the first square that you put down. Once it's stuck on. Never fails, does it? Every blimkin' time I come in here and do a video. I get going so well and then something just... Okay, so centralise it, and we're going to stick that bottom square to that bar that we made. Okay. And just give that another crease down. And I'm going to cut some off this. And I'm going to bring back in my tab punch, my trio punch. Hopefully I can get it to go in. Sorry about that. Loud bang. So that's essentially our card, and I just want to punch a hole in the middle so that the person receiving this card knows that to pull the tab. Just trying to centralise that. I need some thin ribbon. I'm just going to feed that through, she says. Loop it through. Cut off my ends. Okay, so there is our card, and you're probably thinking, okay, so essentially it is a waterfall card, and that is why I said do not put any embellishments on it, because you want it to be able to slide through easily. Okay, that will stick down once you've had it in the envelope for a bit. It's just because I put that extra score line in. So if I was you, I would make your 2-inch strip, and I would wait and see once you've got it in how far down you want to fold it with the piece sticking out, so that you know to pull on that. So there you go. And on the back you could always put a piece of Whisper White, just for you to write something on the back of that. So I hope you give that a go. I hope you'd enjoyed this video. Sorry I messed up again at the end. So it's, you put your tape on that last square, okay? Now milk on. So there we go. So there's our card for today. Okay, so take care all. Have a lovely day, and I shall speak to you all soon. Bye.